Hello, welcome to another General 0 Hour replay. Here we have a 1v1 between Coredawg in the blue, China Vanilla. Down at the bottom, Pcap in the purple is USA Vanilla. Now 1v1s don't happen in our group very often, usually we're going for 4v4s if we can get them. But on this night, while they were waiting for a free-for-all to finish, Pcap challenges Coredawg to 1v1. Coredawg is happy to oblige, so here we go. We've got something a little different than usual. Pcap getting his supply up already, and Coredawg going to be following suit really closely. They each have two supplies in the back of their base, one on the far left, one on the far right. Pcap's a little bit faster to this one as well. The USA dozers are going to be a little faster than the construction dozers for China. And on some nights when Coredawg is China, you can hear him complaining about the speed of China, not only of their construction dozers, but of some of their tank units as well. But that being said, he's the first one out to the corner with this oil. There's two oils in this map, one there for Coredawg, one there for Pcap. And I have to guess that Coredawg has pressed the C button on his barracks to get that capture upgrade. He wants to get that extra money as quick as he can. Pcap, instead of going for Rangers for an oil, is thinking more about maybe tanks coming up on that left-hand side once the defense gets them. He takes this little town here, is able to fire on those red guard. Coredawg thinks about bringing them up. He's like, wait a second, these aren't Rangers. I can't do anything about those. Takes them back to safety. I don't think Pcap can force fire on that oil from here. Maybe it's in range. Possibly not, but has a Humvee already coming up. A quick war factory here from Pcap. And this Humvee is exactly the answer for those two red guard. Nothing they can do about that. Even has a drone on it for 300. So, the first two units destroyed for the game are those two red guard, and first blood goes to Pcap. Coredawg builds a bunker. Maybe that's in response to seeing the Humvees up already. Maybe he feels exposed on that left side of his base. This is not very far away. Doesn't feel very comfortable with Pcap hiding just outside the shadows there around Coredawg's base, so that might be what brought that bunker in for him. That's a propaganda center going up. Pcap, instead of going for a strategy center, goes for an airfield first. Here, this is going to be an airfield for Coredawg as well. Pcap garrisoning buildings on the right side and on the left side, has a good line. Nothing in the middle. But Pcap definitely owns more real estate on this map than Coredawg does. But I think Coredawg expects that, and being a little bit slower as China and adjusts his play accordingly. A Ranger coming up maybe to capture that artillery platform. Has the oil. That oil's at half health, so it will be susceptible to airstrikes. Inferno cannons will be able to take it out relatively quickly. That Humvee is not stopping back. It wants those trucks. Oof. It was so close too. It was right there. These mines cost Coredawg $500, I think.
No system is safe.
And they just took out at least a $700 unit. Maybe more if there was anything else in there, or if there was any drones. But Pcap now, utilizing his airfield, still wants those trucks, no matter the cost. That's 2 for 1. That is a good strike from that Raptor. Coredawg queuing up some more. So, Pcap going for supplies early denies Coredawg the ability to capture this oil. Going after trucks on the side. This side still has 3. 2 Chinooks on each of his supply docks. No strategy center started yet. He's going more for offense. Coredawg maybe focus more on building his base. Pcap focus on maybe trying to cripple Coredawg's economy early on. But here's Coredawg's first offensive campaign. He's going to try to take some of this real estate on the map back with these Inferno cannons. He does not like Pcap being that close to his base. Pcap has the answer with those Raptors. Those Raptors have done a lot of work for him. Coredawg is successful in taking that garrison out, but pays for it with 2 Inferno cannons. Let's see if he pays for it with a 3rd as well. Nope. Pcap's going to go after the Gatling tank instead. Those do have more hit points to them. You can tell twice as much at least. Maybe 4 times as much hit points. Here we go. Pcap's making a push in on his left side. Maybe. Maybe he's just content to stay where he's at. I know he wants those trucks, but it's not going to be so simple anymore. Coredawg is ready for it with a couple Gatling tanks and some MiGs now. Making use of that airfield. Humvee's going to survive that as well. It does have missiles inside of it, so it's going to be an expensive unit if he loses it. So Coredawg now making a line of defenses with his Gatling tanks. Getting another barracks up. I wonder if that is for hackers, for the purpose of making more hackers. Queuing something up in his war factory. Bunch of things, probably Gatling tanks, I would guess. Pcap going for Humvees. Humvees and Raptors, and it's worked well for him so far. He's going to have to rely on power as USA more than Coredawg does. USA needs more power plants. China can get by with just 1 for a long time.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Now he is going to load up the Humvees with missile defenders. This looks more like a group of units that's designed to punch through Coredawg's base as opposed to just harass the outside. Looks like this is meant to do more than just harass trucks. Oh, there goes Pcap's oil. That's a big deal. That being at half health, I'm guessing that was MiGs. They're just returning to base. But Pcap can answer. Going somewhere. Going to defend. He likes this little town. Okay. There she is. There's the Black Lotus. Pcap knows she's there. He sent a plane at her. He saw her from the garrison. But it's just a matter of where is she now? Is she still coming to the corner? Did she stop where she was? Maybe I can head her off the pass. Yeah, hopefully Pcap doesn't think he's safe now from that Black Lotus. I wonder if those were brought over there to try to detect her, but she is still moving towards the middle of his base. Ooh, right next to his strategy center, right next to... went right by the supply. He didn't want the supply. Pcap's gonna go on the offensive here. He's got some Auroras. Oof, loses all of them, but the supply is down. And his strategy center is about to go down as well. So, Pcap either doesn't know she's there or wants to distract Coredawg by just moving in with these units. Looks like, I can't believe how much success these Gatling tanks had against those group of Humvees. It seemed like he had more at the beginning. And the command center's down as well. So Pcap did bring these guys into the back of the base, but they weren't able to get too far. Coredawg does a good job of shutting them down. Coredawg's still with the Black Lotus here. Maybe he feels like she's safe, or maybe he's just distracted by Pcap's attack. Might as well build plenty of units, Pcap. You've got the money. Go find that Lotus. So this game between Pcap and Coredawg, this was April 17th. Oh, I saw Burton load into one of those Humvees. That's been bad news for me before from Pcap. This came, April 17th was, I think, the day after Matt, the number 2 guy in our group, announced a hiatus from the game. Coredawg's been the number 1 guy for probably the whole time the group's been together. Undisputed, it's always been him. Really, no one's challenged him all that much with that top spot, except for maybe Matt. Matt was pretty close. Matt was kind of another Coredawg, but it was always known that Coredawg was the best. So Pcap now has been in that group that's been right behind those top two. I wonder if he meant to send him in there, or send him in there on purpose and forgot. He's gonna go down. But Pcap, always been in that group that's right been outside that number 2 spot. The group that's just been vying with each other for position outside of Matt and Coredawg. And maybe with Matt announcing that he was going to be going on the sidelines, maybe Pcap's feeling the vacuum in the group. And maybe he's feeling the group, it's time for another number 2. Or possibly, he's feeling like it's time for there to be another number 1. He has been giving Coredawg's fits in multiplayer games lately, in those 4v4s and 3v3s. It's usually Pcap versus Coredawg lined against each other. Matt does not play on Saturdays with Coredawg. And Pcap's been getting the better of him quite a few times here lately. So if he wins this, it's not like we'll have a change of power or anything like that. Coredawg will still be number 1, but I think people might start to talk. I don't think Coredawg wants people to talk about that. That group of MiGs did a lot of damage against these Humvees, and those Humvees should be pretty strong against those Gatling tanks. They don't take out as many as I might have expected them to running in there. The MiGs and the Gatling tanks did a good job against that group. I think Pcap might be missing his strategy center there. The strategy center does have a search and destroy upgrade for his units, where he's able to upgrade them in their range. Humvees do very well with search and destroy. Without that extra range, they don't get to space out these Gatling tanks quite as much. So Coredawg taking out the strategy center early, I think paying dividends for him still. He's built plenty of trucks because he's got a long ways for them to go all the way across the map. This supply dock is empty up here. Pcap's probably empty right there with the idle Chinooks still collecting from this left one over here.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Building up another group. Loading up with missile defenders.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Raptors to defend. Lost that garrison, but doesn't want to lose the space on the map, so he still has that Raptor. I wonder if he'll use it in this attack, or if he'll just keep it back where it is. Coredawg with his internet center, I think that's fully loaded. Now has hackers spaced out throughout his base. That's more what I would expect from Humvees versus Gatling tanks. Took out 2 of them without barely getting stretched, but these mines and those MiGs and the Inferno cannons are having a lot of success against these Humvees. He takes out the second supply. So mission accomplished in a way, but these are very expensive units. He paid a lot for those. He does not want them to just go down. He took out a sizable amount of Coredawg's army with that push as well. I don't think that guy's making it back. Oh wow, impressive. Yeah, get a drone on that guy, he deserves it. Yeah, get a drone on him, do it. Totally. Yeah, there you go. Something's going on there. More Auroras. Takes out a dozer that was maybe repairing the airfield. So I believe after taking out that supply, Pcap's next target is the airfield. Coredawg's so good at spacing out his hackers so they don't all get taken out at once.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Search and destroy.
There's search and destroy. Now it goes up. I think that's going to help. So Coredawg must have lost a group of MiGs there. Pcap lost a group of Humvees in the process. That might have been the little Humvee that could. I think he might have just gotten taken out. Pcap with the second oil. That's going to help a lot. Now able to collect from these drops in the middle. This is the advantage of having map control. Just there's a single missile defender there, which doesn't defend against much, but Coredawg feels that that's Pcap's territory. He can't see it in his mini-map. He can't see it on his screen beyond the shadows. So map control giving Pcap some extra supplies here. Something just, okay, another one of those. Here we go, here's Pcap's first general's ability, I think, that he's using against Coredawg. Coredawg must have already taken out Pcap's airfield at some point with an artillery strike. So Coredawg is successful in getting his line of Gatling tanks going across. This left side a little bit more protected by one bunker. Queuing up a lot more hackers, I believe, and that's a lot of trucks. He's rebuilt the supply over on this left side. He's got 6 trucks collecting on it. That side looks pretty exposed, but Pcap electing to come up the middle. Now has Search and Destroy on. Let's see if that makes a difference for him with how successful this army is. Also has an Avenger in the mix, which is going to help against those MiGs. But those MiGs, you can see, did a lot of splash damage to a bunch of those Humvees. They don't have many hit points. Might like to have seen Pcap get the General's ability where he can heal his units. That does really well for these Humvees. But now he's doing a good job of driving them around just outside of range. No. He did drive around long enough to get shot down by an Inferno Cannon and the MiGs. So they took out, that's kind of a wash, it looks like. Pcap wasn't able to get any buildings, but he destroyed an entire army. But I think Coredawg's happy with that. It really seems like Coredawg's strategy is to defend and to build his base. He's trying to get more hackers out. And it seems like Pcap's strategy is to attack and build his base. Which means Coredawg's trying to spend less economy on defense than Pcap has to spend on offense, and I do think that's what's happening. Because Pcap should be ahead in the economy game. He's had both of his supplies up the whole time with 2 Chinooks on each. He's got some supply drops, but I think the thing that's evening it out is his armies are more expensive. Coredawg's are cheap. Those Gatling tanks don't cost a lot, which is why he keeps pumping them out. They do happen to defend well against planes, but as another plus, they're just cheap fodder for these Humvees. Even if more go down than take out Humvees, they're an effective defensive wall, really, without having to build defenses, which can't move. But Pcap sending in another round. He wants to keep pressing the advantage. I wonder what his target's going to be this time. Holy moly, that was a carpet bomb. That was a carpet bomb, and I think those must have been MiGs. Pcap loses his war factory and his barracks in just a single swoop. So, if we think back, Pcap's had to rebuild an airfield, he's had to rebuild a war factory, a barracks, a command center, and a strategy center. This is an entirely new base. This is like the original cells of his body, of his base, died a long time ago, and now they've just all replenished themselves over time. His base is an entirely new being at this point. There's the Overlord. There's the first Overlord of Coredawg. That looks like a different intention. Maybe he's thinking I'll just defend with it, but it looks like Coredawg's starting to switch his mind from defend and build base to maybe attack somewhere. It's been a while since he sent out any Inferno Cannons. It's been a long time since he sent out Inferno Cannons. It's really just been Pcap on the offense. There's more Auroras, that'll work. Takes out the airfield. Don't think any will make it back. That line of Gatling tanks will make sure of that. So, kind of hard to tell who's up in economy now. Coredawg might have the advantage actually, since these supply docks are all run out. That was Pcap's strength. He had supply centers and Coredawg didn't. Now he has 6 supply drops, which those are effective too, but only so much. Now another A-10 strike. The airfield was gone. Oh, wow. They don't make it there. That hurts. This group, that Gatling tank and that veteran Gatling tank were able to take out the A-10s by themselves. That's a nice side effect of having those there. Pcap's going to have a harder time getting those general abilities in there, into the back of his base. In the meantime, you can just see all the scarring of the land where Pcap's base has been plastered, demolished time after time. Huge charred pieces of dirt right there from Coredawg's assaults, from his general's abilities. Hard to tell what's going on right now, what their strategies are. I see Comanches. Wonder what Pcap's going to try to do with them. Still the 2 overlords, so I don't think Coredawg's in a huge hurry to make a strong army. Yeah, it does look like his goal is still to pump out a whole bunch of hackers. And like I said, look at how well they're spaced out. It's not like they're in like 2 or 3 groups even, which would be good. They're all over the place. There's no groups. Here's an offensive move by Coredawg. He's very deliberate as a player. You can almost see his objectives. He moves to accomplish his objectives one at a time. And sometimes they're small objectives. Sometimes it's just taking out a civilian building. That's all the more complicated it is. But, as we were saying before, it's map control. Pcap has been collecting off of these spots in the middle for a long time. And I think Coredawg was wanting to do something about that, but those Humvees are fast and they come in quick, and he did not bring in any Gatling tanks to help defend. The overlords are still back there, perhaps in the spot on his base where he feels like Pcap has been pushing towards the most. So what did Pcap end up doing with those 2 Humvees? Brought them along the back, and there's Colonel Burton, hidden. The Humvee gets taken down. Again, that's an expensive unit. But Colonel Burton survives and is undetected. And now those hackers in the back are looking like they're not going to last too much longer. There we go, there's 4 down. Colonel Burton, I don't know how much he costs, but those hackers I think are 200 more or more each. There's mines. Oh, those mines pay for themselves again. I'm sure he's more than $500, and I'm sure all of 6 of those hackers would have gone down as well if those mines hadn't been there. So that was very fortunate for Coredawg. Colonel Burton is a great idea for getting into the back of the base and taking out those hackers. Unlike China infantry, those hackers are not camouflaged, so Pcap gets someone back there, he can take them out one by one. Let's see if Pcap tries that strategy again. Maybe he'll send a Colonel Burton on the right side instead. Oop, there's another artillery strike. And a carpet bomb. Does not take out the particle cannon. A-10 coming in and answering. So the last A-10 group was taken out by Gatling tanks. This one looks like these... Oh, wow! I was going to say it looks like those are going to be taken out as well. I figured he'd be going for the airfield. Holy smokes! 3 overlords. We're talking about expensive armies. Losing expensive armies, it's always been Pcap. But that was at least $6,000 sinking into the sand. There they go. It's kind of sad to see. But awesome if you're Pcap. That was a great use of those A-10s. Perfect use. He must... I don't know how he saw those overlords there. I figured he was going to go after a building. But the last group of A-10s was shot down before they could get to the building. I'm sure Pcap adjusted his strategy accordingly and said, okay, I can't make it to buildings. What else can I accomplish with this thing? That was a huge strike. First defense for Pcap. You know, those defensive buildings, we see them a lot in the 4v4 matches and 3v3 matches. There's usually more choke points in those kind of matches. Here in a 1v1, on a 1v1 map, it's wide open. This is a huge amount of space between these two players compared to what they're used to. They're used to lining up right across from their opponent and just, you know, trading blows back and forth. Nowhere to run, no way to get away or to move off to the side. Here in 1v1 games, you got a lot of room. And he will send a Colonel Burton in again, and it will go up that right side. Maybe this one will get a little further. So, yeah, those defensive towers, they can't move. They can't react to where your opponent's going. So it seems like they're less valuable in a 1v1. Maybe keep them close to your base. Maybe put them in your base just in case there's any troop drops, any parachutes in the back of your base. But okay, Pcap brings them up. I wonder what both of these guys are building now at this moment. Coredawg using his resources well. Something, building something. More Auroras coming in. Takes out an airfield. So Coredawg using his resources really well. Pcap, a little bit more wiggle room there. Oh! I didn't think he got it off. I did not think the plane got it off. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 Humvees. I don't know how many missile defenders were in each one of those. What is right there? Oh, that's a pilot. Okay, that's not the Colonel Burton. Wow. These generals' abilities are factoring in huge. It's like neither one of them can put an army together with them constantly getting bombed. Here comes round 3 or 4 of Coredawg bringing in Inferno cannons. Okay, there's another general's ability, a EMP blast, I think is what it's called. Those buildings are going to be offline for a while, so Pcap's going to be bringing in some Humvees. He was able to rebuild an army pretty quick, but he's not going to be able to bring in any extra Humvees right away if these get taken down. Oh! You can see how effective they are at destroying Inferno cannons if there's nothing between them and the Inferno cannon. MiGs are just the right answer. Holy cow. MiGs are just the right answer for Humvees. Holy moly. Seeing those hit points go down so fast, not just on one of them, on the whole group. Just one left. That was so fast. That one's moving a little faster. Nope, just another one of those planes again. Where's that Colonel Burton? Still standing off to the side. Let's look. If he went in there, you know, there's planes everywhere. Those can defend against Colonel Burton pretty easily. What's Coredawg doing? What's he doing? He's chasing him all the way to the base. Is he making his first assault on Pcap's base, not just reclaiming land on the map? Hey, Pcap's glad they built that fire base. There we go. So hey, I think that counts. I think that counts as Coredawg's first attack on Pcap's base. And the hackers just keep coming. And Coredawg with a little extra money to play with now, putting that nuke on the map. Here comes the next bomber. These things have been so devastating. On both sides, that A-10 strike was devastating. Bombers have been devastating. Let's see how far this one gets. An Avenger, very smart. Hit. Aha, there we go. The Avenger helps. You know, you think about bringing anti-air in for air units. You don't think about them defending against these generals' abilities so much, but we can see here they're very effective at that as well. Pcap a couple more Auroras. I wonder what he would want to use those on. I don't think we've seen a particle uplink cannon strike yet. Oh, here it comes. There's a propaganda center. It's not going to be able to take out the nuke, but maybe he gets it down halfway and is able to finish off with Auroras. I think he's going to get it down almost halfway and almost finish it off with Auroras. That was an A-10 strike. That was another A-10 strike that didn't make it all the way out, but there's nothing else. Like, what else do you put it on? one Gatling tank, that feels like a waste as well. Might as well try. Might as well try for the airfield. There's the Auroras. Ooh, that didn't even get as far as I thought it would. These are regular Auroras as opposed to a super weapon USA General. That would have worked, I think. A super weapon. So, Coredawg may be traumatized by seeing 3 or 4 overlords coming off the map at one time. Finally gets more overlords up, but it's been a while. He's been focusing more on Gatling tanks. Maybe to defend against air units, maybe to take out A-10 strikes as they come in. And what's Pcap been working on? More Humvees. He's even bringing in his parachute in his own base to load up more Humvees. This barracks is not moving fast enough for him. He's got 2 of them going. I do remember Pcap saying after this game was done, why did I keep on making Humvees? Why didn't I make something else? Why didn't I make more anti-air for those darn digs? But you can see we're 31 minutes into this match. This is not easy to do. This is a 1v1. We're hyper focused in on the other person. Any one mistake, and there's no teammates to save you. There is no teammate right next to you to come in and save you if you blow a bunch of units without getting anywhere with them, or if you lose a bunch to an airstrike. Every single mistake hurts so much because it's just you. You're the last one on the board. And so the mental strain that this is putting on these players is just enormous. So they have to be getting kind of worn out by this point. And yeah, when you've only got so much mental bandwidth to work with, keep it simple. Keep the army simple. Keep the army composition simple. As opposed to having 4 or 5 different types of units that you have to micro very elegantly and keep them separate from each other, put them on a different hotkey. Just send in a group of Humvees, do it again. See how far you get. But this time there's some overlords that want to contend with them as well. Okay, look at Pcap spacing them out this time. He's getting better as the game goes on with these Humvees. He's spacing them out at the edge of the line of Gatling tanks there, and he took out 3 of them just quick like that. The Avengers, dealing not only with the MiGs themselves, but with the missiles that come out of the MiGs, that's very helpful. I did notice 2 overlords were able to just blast missiles into the air once. Instantly, 2 Humvees were taken off the board. So, Pcap just retreating. Sees the overlords, thinking about how to deal with them. These bases are getting bigger and bigger as we talk here. More and more supply drops. They need those because the supply docks are gone, empty. He has garrisoned smartly a bunker back there. And even more hackers. Another war factory. Another propaganda center in a different spot. Did not build it in the same spot. A second propaganda center, actually. Very smart. Okay, here's a huge, massive purple blob coming up the right side. And the overlords are distracted. What took them all the way over to the left? Did Pcap do that? Did Pcap bring something to the left side? Draw off the fire of those overlords? They didn't see it, but I don't know why else they would have moved over there. And these Humvees, this group of Humvees, here we go. Here we go. An EMP blast takes out one of them, maybe. MiGs, not able to quite take them out. They are low health. They're heading for the internet center. They're running over hackers left and right. These are fully veteran hackers. Running away from the overlords. Overlords doing their best to get there, but they're so slow. And he is even using the internet center to block the shells from the overlords. Now the hackers are out dispersing. How many can he kill? How many can he kill? Going for the airfield now too. Is that greedy? No, good call. Good call. No, there's more hackers to the left. Nope, that was it. That was it. That was a great run through. Those overlords would have loved to have been there to take out those Humvees early. I think they would have done a lot of good damage to them. That one's even got a Gatling cannon on top of it. But they were out of place. I don't know what drew them to the left side of the base. Maybe Coredawg was planning on making an assault up here on this left side. Maybe he wanted to take out the oil. I don't know. But here comes another group running in. Finally, it feels like somebody has some momentum. Otherwise, it was a standstill for such a long part of the game. This time, the Overlord's right in where they need to be. Right in position. Now, these are loaded up with healing drones. A little more expensive. The Humvees lined up very nicely, side to side. But then again, so are the Overlords. That was, I think that one goes to Coredawg. Yeah, I mean, obviously. He didn't lose any Overlords. Just some, he lost one. And some Gatling tanks, but that was a better engagement for Coredawg. So just when you thought Pcap was gaining some momentum, just when you thought one of these guys was going to get a true upper hand on the other one, it did seem like Coredawg had the upper hand early in the game. With that Black Lotus in Pcap's base, he took out all of Pcap's buildings with artillery strikes. But here, it does feel like Pcap's got a nice, robust base. Building his strategy center up again. I don't know if USA can build 2 of those. I think they can only have 1 at one time. I don't know why I think that is, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And, oh, so many hackers off the board. And those are Coredawg's entire economy now. We can count them. Before they were innumerable. Now there's what, like 15, 16, 18, 20? Before there was so many more. Another propaganda center on this right side. Probably hopes Pcap doesn't know about that one in the back. Pcap can take out this one all he wants to. That one's just a ploy. Here we go. Overlords are slow, but when they're driving caddy corner, they go faster. Notice how they slow down a little bit driving north and south on the map. When units drive diagonalized on the map, they drive a little bit faster than just straight up and down. Now they want to get away from this Humvee. Or what did they take out? A war factory just there, I think. Ooh, maybe they want to turn and fight. How many can they take out? 3, 4, 5? Gosh, this is just so evenly matched. Maybe trying to run them over there. Both groups of very expensive units. I don't know who came out better there. I think I might have liked to have seen Pcap do the same thing he was doing with the Gatling tanks earlier. Keep those Overlords at a distance, make the Overlords chase you. Overlords are so bad at chasing, they tend to go single file line, they trip over each other. He didn't want the Overlords to get back to his base, he wanted to ambush them, but as soon as the Overlords turned around, I think the advantage was with the Overlords again. Pcap $6,000, I think that's going to go down. Yep, dealt with it nicely. That makes such a difference. Ooh, get those Humvees out of there and make the Overlords deal with just those individual units. Yes, that one had Gatling cannon, but they are not very strong against individual units. You can tell that Coredawg knows that. He's like, I want no part in this. I'm surrounded by little peewees. I like this guy. I don't want him to die. What's going on? Nuke. Is that the first nuke we've seen? It's been there forever. It can't be the first nuke that he's used. Oh, there goes the particle cannon. So Coredawg winning the super weapon game. And that makes sense. A nuke is a stronger super weapon than a particle uplink, I think. You know, if you have a line of defenses on a choke point map, then sure, that uplink cannon is going to be great at just running right down the line, letting your troops come in right afterwards. But if we're talking about blasting bases, if it's a GLA base, sure, particle uplink is going to be strong at taking out the building and the GLA hull. Nuke won't do that, but this is USA. Their buildings are a little bit more susceptible, especially these 2 airfields back there. If Coredawg learns that those are there somehow, that might be the next thing he aims for. Still more Humvees. You know, Coredawg hasn't switched up his units either. He's just been going with Gatling tanks, Overlords, and we haven't seen Inferno cannons in a long time. Might have liked to have seen some ECMs from him. Those would have deflected the missiles from the Humvees and, ooh, nicely done. And disabled the Humvees as well. They could have still shot the missiles while they were disabled, but you can kind of pick off one at a time, isolate them, instead of having them all run around, evading your troops. I would say Pcap had the advantage there for a while, except for this gaping hole in his base. Maybe that was just the uplink cannon. Maybe that's all I got taken out, but I have a feeling there was a couple more units, or a couple more buildings that got taken out than just that. In this time, Coredawg was very low on hackers, but there's a full internet center. They're not pumping out $10 at a time now. Sometimes it's just $5, but they're coming back. Coredawg is rebuilding his hackers. Coredawg, the way I see it, the way I picture him playing is just one objective at a time. One at a time. Okay, you lost a bunch of hackers. Now our job is to defend and build more hackers. What is he hoping to do with these overlords? There's a lot of Humvees there. Takes out 3 Humvees, loses 2 overlords. Okay. You know, not a terrible exchange. Colonel Burton! Standing on the side and watching it all go down. I don't know how to get him in there either. Really. You know, I don't know where his entry point is. Pcap could always run him over to this side of the map and then run him in. That would be worth the time, but you know, Pcap doesn't know what's over there. It's all just a shadow land to him. Some paladins. Those will take out some of the missiles from the mix, but the Humvees are going to drive way ahead of them. Okay, 41 minutes in. Both of these players are exhausted. Both of their brains are fried. Both of them have been trying and failing to attack the other's base with little to no success. Except for here. These are looking like they're just taking out... These guys are just taking out those Gatling tanks one at a time. These guys are doing great. Paladins have a lot more armor to them. I wish they were in the front, but that would take a lot of microing to get them to the front. Where do you go now? There's a lot of mines in there. You want to take out the airfield, I know. But be careful with those Humvees. They're very fragile. Oh, he's going in the back. He's driving through the land of the mines. Granted, if he hadn't, they would have been sitting still for that carpet bomb anyways, but oh man, there they go. 1 paladin left. Those mines do kind of disappear as they get blown up, as you drive over them, but oh, 1 lonely paladin. Where are my friends? Where did they all go? Oh, once we were many. Now there is only 1. And a nuke. And the nuke is launched again. And Pcap's airfields are off the map. I don't know when that happened.
Let's get to work.
And Pcap's supply drops are dropping one by one.
Buck it up.
There's the war factory backup, and there's a reactor backup. Holy cow, that paladin is just... There was nobody left! Everyone took each other out. Pcap took out Coredawg's army, so there's no one to take on this paladin. All of Pcap's army is under the sands. Lost to the mines. He wasn't as close as maybe we thought he was. Might as well just be a distraction for Coredawg, something else for him to focus on. Okay, there's another Lotus. I was thinking about that earlier. Since the beginning of the game,
Got my missile launcher right here.
Coredawg had used a Black Lotus to a lot of success.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Here finally repeats the performance. Finally brings her in at the end.
Got my missile launcher right here.
And just when you thought Pcap had taken control of the game with that last group of Humvees,
Got my missile launcher right
he's got tons of
Got
resources.
my missile launcher right here.
Can't
Got my
quite
missile launcher right
pump
here.
units out right now to use those resources because he's trying to find the Black Lotus. He does get her. That's good, because she could have taken out some more supply drops.
Right here.
But that war factory and that war factory... Okay, now he's starting to use the money.
have many bullets to spare.
Colonel Burton's still watching.
I have many bullets to spare.
Will this game go on forever? Will this game ever end? Whoa, what's going on over here? Coredawg brought in his group of Gatling tanks. Focusing on the war factor, that's going to take him a long time. It's going to take him a long time to take that down. Decide to refocus on the Humvees. But then again, this group, Humvees and Paladins, are not able to fire on those Gatling tanks like they would like to either. Do you dodge a carpet bomb right there? Pcap's looking like he's just running on bare bones now. 3 supply drops, 2 over here, and I think that's it. Picking up those crates would be helpful. That would be helpful. He does have some money that he's not quite sure how to spend. Can't spend it because his war factory's down now. Paladin disabled. And Coredawg's starting to group up. Hey, that line of Gatling tanks has reappeared magically. It comes back so fast. He's got the 2 war factories. It does not take too long to make a nice line of Gatling tanks. Coredawg's next mission, rebuild my base when Pcap drove into it. And that objective being accomplished. Retake space on the map. That's what Coredawg has been wanting to do all game. I want that town, Pcap. And I'm not going to attack you on your main base until I have it.
Tactical fighter reporting.
Are you ready?
Your overlord's coming in. Pcap floating a little bit more cash than Coredawg. Rebuilding his supply drops now.
Search and destroy.
Rebuilding his strategy center. Rebuilding a little group. Man, it seems like those 5 overlords came up so fast. Pcap was $6,000. Coredawg with 1,000, with less. You can see his money's going up a lot faster. This might be the engagement that says a lot about what's going to happen next. Those Paladins are his last hope, but it's 2 on 2. That's not going to work. Oh, just look at how many hit points those things have. Bring them up. Bring up the infantry. Those are perfect. That's exactly what you want. Okay, he was waiting. He was waiting for just a couple more troops. He was going to make another push, but those things are self-healing in the process. There goes another war factory. Here comes another group of tanks. So Pcap may be breathing a sigh of relief with those 2 overlords off the board, but now, wow, that group of infantry went down fast. Man, Gatling tanks have been looking relatively weak all game against the Humvees, but now driving into Paul's base, Pcap's base for the first time, they're looking pretty strong. Even with that huge group, that Paladin goes down so slow. It's feeling quiet. It's feeling eerily quiet, whereas before there was always some sort of noise going on. Pcap's base is just quiet. What does he respond with? All we hear is the Gatling tanks firing slowly at the building, taking out the units as they come out one by one. I guess the music stopped too. This game's been going on for 49 minutes. The soundtrack repeated enough times. One missile defender in that. Oh, okay. They can get shot right out of there. I didn't know that. Didn't know that Gatling tanks would do that. Unless Coredawg retargeted them to do that, which would have been very smart. More overlords, okay. So whereas before, when Pcap had the upper hand, you could feel like maybe the tide was starting to shift. Now that Coredawg has the upper hand, it just feels like a certainty. He's going to take out this base. It feels like it's going to happen. It is happening. Pcap's rebuilding, but oh, those overlords. Just in groups of 10 or 20, Humvees do great against them. But 2 or 3 at a time, man, they feel unstoppable. What else is Coredawg bringing in here? It's right side of the base, not being attacked currently. Just a couple units. But a couple units is all you need when the opponent is completely sapped. Pcap a little bit of extra cash, but not much. Those supply drops only give you money once every, I think it's 2 minutes. And in the meantime, okay, there it is. Pcap, exhausted, gave Coredawg a real run for his money. When those Humvees were in the back of Coredawg's base, things could have turned out very differently, and Pcap has said as much himself. That very night, I think he was texting in the group, why did I run over so many mines? What was I thinking? But when you've been playing, I think that happened at the 52-minute marker. Was it 52 or 42? And the game ended 9 minutes after that, or 7 minutes after that. It was pretty quick. After that group of Humvees ran over the mines, the momentum switched fast, and Coredawg took advantage. He had been holding back all game. He had been base building. He had units. He had a lot of Gatling tanks, but he had not pushed them forward all game until he felt his opportunity. He saw Pcap was weak to defend, and that's when he sent in his units. Just those 2 overlords at first. But you could definitely tell when Coredawg switched from defense to offense. Looking at these stats, Pcap had more supplies collected. Even with all those hackers, I think Coredawg's economy had been crippled by Pcap enough times that, yeah, that makes sense that with those supply drops, Pcap had more money to work with. Buildings destroyed plenty on each side. Each one of them made a run at each other's bases. Units destroyed and units lost. Am I looking at that right? Okay, that's all the missile defenders. Yeah. I think the drones count for that too, I'm pretty sure. So Coredawg, undisputed number 1 in the group, showing why that is. Not only is he strong with all the different factions of the game, good at helping out partners when they're in trouble, but you can see his mental fortitude as well. To have half of his base taken out there at the end, but not only that, to have his supplies taken out multiple times, and to be able to keep it together and to continue just one objective at a time, methodical and yet unstoppable at the same time. Coredawg maintains his number 1 spot. It's going to silence all the doubters for another month or 2, but Pcap losing in pretty dramatic, pretty tragic fashion. That kind of a loss where it feels like that didn't have to happen. I didn't have to run over those mines. That kind of a loss can motivate you. So we'll see what his answer is in the coming weeks and months here. And we'll see what Pcap versus Coredawg looks into the future. I hope we have more 1v1s like this in this group. I think we could use some more rivalries, some more smack talking. And it'd be fun to see more games like this. So that's it for this replay. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.